Good evening, it's 8 o'clock. The top headlines tonight. We're leading with the Olympics where boxer Lovlina in the semis assures a second medal for India. Go for gold. India cheers on Lovlina. Meanwhile, PV Sindhu also smashes her way into the semis. India's highest COVID cases in 3 weeks. Kerala still over 50% of cases. Kochi shuts liquor shops to stop the COVID spread. Meanwhile, a rise in cases in Karnataka, Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu as well. Meanwhile, Maharashtra plans major relaxations for those fully vaccinated. They'll be allowed on local trains to malls and movie halls. According to recommendations of a task force in Karnataka, students are back on college campuses. The Assam Chief Minister says civilians in Mizoram carry AK-47s. That's why we issued an advisory against Assamese people travelling there. But the Mizoram Chief Minister says the Northeast will remain one. CBSE Class 12 results out today based on the new formula. Over 99% of students passed. That's higher than last year. No toppers are announced this year. Extreme rain in parts of India. Look at these visuals as this landslide wipes out a national highway in Himachal Pradesh. Oh, let's just go to COVID numbers now. India reports the most new COVID cases in 3 weeks, reporting 44,230 new cases in the last 24 hours. Deaths are 555. The vaccinations are over 48 lakhs. The daily positivity rate remains below 5%. The highest number of cases remains Kerala, which is at over 50% of cases. Maharashtra also going up here at over 7,200. Andhra Pradesh up 4.8. Karnataka numbers also up by over 34%, so something to watch out there. And Tamil Nadu at 1859, again cases going up. Meanwhile, worrying news today is that cases are the highest in over 3 weeks. But more than that, a key number known as the reproduction number has hit 1. The R number indicates the spread of infection. Above 1 cases rise and below 1 the pandemic shrinks. So the biggest weapon we have is vaccinations. But let's just look at the daily doses. The daily average is about 45 lakhs, which is less than half of what's required. So in Kerala, again, measures being taken, says the state government, and Kochi is now announced shutting liquor shops to control the COVID spread. So all liquor shops now in Kochi have been shut down. Meanwhile, in Maharashtra, even though cases are rising slightly, major relaxations are being planned for those who are fully vaccinated. A task force has recommended that local trains to be opened for those fully vaccinated. Also, hotels, malls and cinema halls to open for fully vaccinated people. Meanwhile, shops will be allowed to be open with norms on weekends, and restaurants and gyms may also be allowed on weekends. 25 districts are likely to see major relaxations in these curbs. And also, as cases up in Karnataka, again, colleges in Karnataka returning to life with people and students back on campuses.
Students back on Karnataka college campuses. And most of them seem relieved to be able to interact directly with faculty and with each other.
I'm an architecture student.
Okay.
So for us, basically, we lead a lot of practical, site visits and all. So we have missed our trips.
COVID case numbers, though much lower than the peak, are still a cause of concern.
There is a spurt of COVID cases in Kerala. So we have got 3 border districts and have talked to all the 3 deputy commissioners to be on the alert.
Students had returned to campus ahead of the devastating second wave, which forced a retreat to online classes. This time, staff and students are only allowed on campus if vaccinated. Special vaccination drives were held for this purpose.
We have taken precautions in the terms of organizing vaccination camp. We had 2 vaccination camps as of now, and most of our students are vaccinated.
The family was cool with your coming back?
At start they were like a bit stressed, but then we convinced that offline would be very helpful.
Okay.
So we convinced them and we are here.
Online classes are still an option.
A third wave of COVID is expected in Karnataka as elsewhere, but things are opening up and students are back on college campuses. A sense of relief for them After months of online classes, they feel it's just not the same. So, with precautions in place, students back on the campuses of Karnataka. With Nandakumar, Maya Sharma in Bengaluru for NDTV.
Assam's chief minister today defended a controversial advisory where Assam has asked its citizens not to travel to the neighbouring state of Mizoram. He said that in Mizoram, civilians even carry AK-47s. This as the Mizoram chief minister tweeted today that the northeast will remain one.
Putting into words today what his government's advisory to Assam's people said on Thursday, not to travel to Mizoram.
আমি মানুহক যাব বাধা দিয়া নাই আমি এডভাইজারি দিছো এডভাইজারি মানে পৰামৰ্শ যেতিয়া এখন ৰাজ্যত সিভিলিয়ানৰ হাতত AK-47 থাকে স্নাইপাৰ ৰাইফল থাকে তেতিয়া সেই ৰাজ্যত আপুনি আমাৰ মানুহ কেনেকৈ যাব দিব যেতিয়ালৈকে চৰকাৰে সেই আৰ্মছ বিলাক জব্দ নকৰে
Vehicles entering Assam from Mizoram are to be checked for drugs, Mr. Biswa Sharma said. The Mizoram CM's response, a tweet saying the northeast would remain one. No curbs on non-residents entering Mizoram's Kolaship district that borders Assam's Kachar, he said, and warned locals not to harass outsiders. But scenes like this are not helping. Assam police in a bulletproof vehicle some distance from the troubled border where 6 Assam policemen were killed on Monday. Mizoram's Home Secretary has asked Delhi to tell Assam not to bring reinforcements.
हिमाचल की डायरेक्शन से हम लोग बॉर्डर से पीछे हट गए हैं बट मिजोरम साइड से भी मिजोरम पुलिस बॉर्डर पे तैनात है हिमाचल का डायरेक्शन फॉलो करना चाहिए जब डायरेक्टिव है कि दोनों रिस्पेक्टिव फोर्सेस मूव आउट करेंगी बॉर्डर से और सीआरपीएफ टेकअप करेगा आई थिंक कि इनको भी मूव आउट करना चाहिए
In Parliament, the Assam travel advisory turned into opposition ammunition to corner the centre.
और आंतरिक ये जो एडवाइजरी इशू कर रहे हैं इसका मतलब यही है कि होम मिनिस्ट्री अपने कर्तव्य में फेल हो चुकी है.
For Assam, the focus right now is on the investigation into last Monday's incident. In fact, the Assam police team, which flew to New Delhi to serve notice to Mizoram's Rajya Sabha MP, could not find him at his residence, and therefore the team pasted the notice at his gates. Meanwhile, sources from Mizoram are indicating that since even essential supply trucks are not plying from Assam, therefore the Mizoram government is now trying to open up alternate routes from Tripura and Manipur. It seems that the crisis is far from over. With inputs from Dali Fanai in Azol, in Guwahati, Ratnadeep Chaudhary for NDTV.
My statement was taken out of context. Goa Chief Minister Pramod Sawant issued a clarification today saying that both as head of a responsible government and as a father of a 14-year-old daughter, I am deeply pained and disturbed. He was referring to the gang rape of 2 14-year-old girls on a Goa beach. He added the pain of this incident is inexplicable. This comes after his controversial statement in the assembly where he said, why did the parents of these young girls allow them to stay out all night on the beach? Meanwhile, in other news, the Sensex and Nifty remained pretty stable today, trading in a narrow band. The Sensex erased gains in the last 30 minutes of trade because of weak European markets and Dow Jones future ending 66 points down, and the Nifty only down by 15 points. But today, the IIP numbers were out. The industrial production number, the infrastructure output of core sectors has risen by 8.9%. This is on a year-to-year basis, and the infrastructure output witnessed a degrowth of 12.4% in June 2020, so up by 8.9% this year. 8 core industries consist of over 40% of the total weight of the items included in industrial output. Production of coal, natural gas, refinery, steel, cement, electricity have jumped by percentages, so that's some good news there. Let's look at the global COVID numbers. Well, the United States numbers shooting up. It's over 76,000 now, so that's up by just over 9%. The deaths are 311. So compare that, if you go by percentage of population, to India, which is at 44,230. The United States being hit very badly by the Delta variant. India now number 2. Brazil numbers have dropped, as have the United Kingdom and France. So they're still very high given the comparison if you compare it to the percentage of population. The other big headline for lakhs of students and parents, the CBSE Class 12 results were out today. This year, of course, with a new formula because final exams weren't held offline. The good news is that over 99% of students have passed the exam, and also that no toppers have been announced.
A filmy way to announce the school leaving results of a very dramatic year. Students were both excited and anxious Almost all the 12th grade students, 99.37% of the 14 lakh of them, have passed, based entirely on internal assessment marks. The board exam was cancelled because of the terrible second COVID wave. In comparison, the pass percentage last year when exams were held was far lower at 89%. Some students were not satisfied with the results.
उम्मीदें थी उसके हिसाब से तो रिज़ल्ट हमारा ख़राब रहा है क्योंकि ज़्यादा के लिए कहेंगे नहीं हमारी 80+ की उम्मीदें थी तो उस हिसाब से हमारा रिज़ल्ट आया नहीं है.
I got my results today and I'm not very happy with it. I expected more, to be very honest. I would have been satisfied if CBSE would have taken the exams offline or online.
The board, CBSE, had a 40 plus 30 plus 30% formula for evaluation. 40% weightage for the 12th standards tests and exams, 30% weightage from the 11th standards final examination, 30% weightage to marks in best of 3 in the 10th standard.
ऐसा रिजल्ट ना कभी पहले आएगा और हम ऐसा चाहेंगे कि इस तरह का रिजल्ट कभी ना ही आए भविष्य में तो सभी के लिए अच्छा होगा. जहाँ तक इसकी क्रेडिबिलिटी का सवाल है मैं कहूँगी कि ये रिजल्ट जो स्कीम ऑफ असेसमेंट था वो काफ़ी रिलायबल, अनबायस्ड था, ट्रांसपेरेंट था और वैलिड भी बहुत था.
पढ़ाई बच्चों की ही वो ऑनलाइन माध्यम से ही हुई और जो परीक्षाएं भी हुई वो भी ऑनलाइन माध्यम से ही करानी पड़ी जिसमें काफ़ी चैलेंज था.
Students who were not satisfied with the assessment stand a chance to take the examination in August. With Saurabh Shukla, Chetan Bhattacharjee for NDTV.
And as we end, well, extreme rain across different parts of India, but these visuals really sum it up. Just look at this road collapsing within minutes after this landslide in Himachal Pradesh. You can actually see a chunk of the hillside there falling, taking the road with it. About 100 meters of the road just slides down and vanishes in moments. Luckily, there have been no reports of casualties so far. The road connected to points called Ponta Sahab and Shilahar-Kori National Highway. The National Highway 707 is blocked because of this landslide. Unbelievable weather events happening this year, but that's it for now in the news.